Get your groove on right now. Watching Howie Mandel. Born in New York, a real cool kid, a natural entertainer, Mr. Dave Rubin. Started out as a stand-up comic, coast to coast, you know now he's gotta come on in and take a seat. Feel the rhythm, catch the beat. Howie, Dave, and Jackelyn too are bringing their own report to you. I said, get your groove on right now. Watching Howie Mandel. Get your groove.
Welcome. This is Howie Mandel Does Stuff. I'm Howie Mandel.
I'm Jackelyn Shultz, his daughter.
Dave Rubin is in the house.
Woo!
He's here to do stuff.
Yeah, Jackelyn.
And that's Sonny in the Black Pack playing live. We have a live band on our podcast.
That is impressive.
Well, I'm trying to impress. You're very impressive. I can't wait to talk to you.
He's going on a bunch of different podcasts. Have any of them had a live band? Or are we the only one?
I think we're the first.
Yeah?
I think this is the first personalized theme song I've ever been part of.
That means we're the best.
Really?
Yeah.
We're the best.
You should have one for your Rubin Report.
I've been thinking about doing one for my show. I got to talk to my producer about that.
Phoenix is here.
But
Your
even
producer,
more
Phoenix.
amazing
yeah.
to do it on someone else's show. Incredible.
Yeah. It means
incredible.
a lot. So Dave Rubin of the Rubin Report, stand-up comic provocateur, conservative provocateur, you're a provocateur because you live in Florida now, and that's close to Disney, and you're close to musketeers and provocateurs, right? And
Yes.
and
I don't think I'm welcome at Disney, but I am roughly close to Disney.
yeah. But you and a comedian. Are you still doing any stand-up?
When I go on book tours and stuff, but stand-up for me, it's like I have a gig that I love now. So, you know, it's kind of like in the old days when you're in the clubs, everyone wants to get out of the clubs and start working the road, and then you want to get the sitcom and the whole thing. Where for me now, I have my gig. So, like, I like doing stand-up here and there, but, like, it's just kind of when it pops up.
So they don't hire you like for conservative corporate gigs to do stand-up?
I mean, I get offers for it, but I don't like conservative corporate gigs. That sounds horrible.
I get
You get them? No, I usually tell them,
gigs.
I say, call Howie Mandel.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
You're the second one. You're the second get.
Yeah.
You're the runner-up, Dad.
You know what they do? Like I'll get hired for a corporate gig, and they're all seem to be conservative if they're corporate.
Well, because they have money, you see.
That's why.
Right. Go to a lefty corporate gig. What are you going to do? They're going to just yell at you. You're racist. You're white. You suck. And they're not going to pay you.
Wow. Howie Mandel here. You might think all hand sanitizers are created equal, but let me tell you, common sense is the superhero of sanitizers. Think of it as the Cape Crusader against germs, swooping in to save the day without leaving a sticky mess in its wake. Get 15% off with the code Howie15 at smartcommonsense.com/shop. Now!
Look at the learning that's happening here.
We're already involved. You're also a parent. You were trying to explain to me that you have twins, but they're not twins. You have two boys.
Two boys.
How old?
The older one will be 2 next month, and the younger one will be 2 months after that. So that's
Hence lies the confusion in
Yes.
the word twins.
It was a hell of a pregnancy. It was just a long-ass pregnancy. No, so I am married to a man, which is odd for some people, but here we are in Los Angeles where it's completely fine. Obviously, not very exciting for you, right?
No, it's not. I mean, it's pretty. It's not an amazing.
Yeah.
You're gay.
Well, what time is it?
Still being married is kind of
usually
exciting.
From about 8,
You know what would be weird?
From about 8 p.m. to about 6 a.m. Yeah.
For a heterosexual. See the band. It's good to have a band, right?
That is nice.
So what I'm saying is for a heterosexual man to be married to another man is weird.
That
for
would
a
be odd.
gay man to be married to another man is just life.
Exactly. It's right. It's just you just wake up to the same person. They happen to be the same sex as you. It's not much more complex or even exciting than that. But yeah, so we had 2 surrogates that were pregnant at the same time.
Wait.
And that's how we ended up with 2 kids that were so close in age.
But it was at a plant? Like, is that a... Like,
It wasn't actually planned. It was partly because we started doing this right before COVID. Our first surrogate actually had 2 miscarriages. And then when the 3rd pregnancy took, because we had already been through 2 miscarriages, we were like, all right, let's just try to get the next surrogate pregnant as quickly as possible so that in case it just takes years and years. And I just turned 48 last week. So we wanted to kind of just move as fast as possible. And then, of course, the second surrogate took like that, thus 2 months to the day.
So the kids are how far apart?
2 months to the day.
2 months to the day.
To the day. So in essence, they will grow up. Everyone will think they are exactly biological twins and all of that kind of stuff.
Is that not so hard to have 2 kids almost the same exact, like babies at the same time?
It's crazy. It's nuts. I mean, my husband's home watching them right now, and it's like we don't have a lot of help. We're working on migrating some grandparents down to Florida, which is where all Jews are supposed to end up eventually.
They're supposed to.
It's the other promised land, and we're working on that. But it's tough. It's crazy. It's wonderful. Well, you're a dad. It's all the stuff. It's like
it's great.
You know, it's like amazing, and you wake up in the morning, and this little human runs at you with like nothing but love and amazement in their eyes, and you have the opportunity to fill them up with all of the good stuff in the world. And then you also know that the world is a pretty horrible place and all kinds of things can happen. And our younger one, Luke, actually yesterday, he fell and he got 6 stitches. So they were dealing with that yesterday.
Sorry.
You know, it's just part of growing up.
It is. Yeah. But enjoy every moment because it goes so fucking fast. It's crazy how fast it goes. I used to talk about it in my act. I said the time between saying, "Oh, did you hear what he said?" to "Did you hear what the fuck he just said?" It seems like 2 days because that guy and these kids are standing right here, right now. My son is a producer on this, and my daughter is obviously working in the other room because she's staying, and it's not you, it's me. Mm-hmm. It's not that.
I thought when you told me what happened earlier, I thought it was because I'm diseased from Florida. I'm not vaxxed. I didn't know what was going on.
She's a lefty and you're a righty. Yeah, she doesn't want to share the room with you. She's so woke. She's in the other room. So, but that's not true. That I mean, it's true that she's woke, but it's not true.
I'm a banana slug. I went to Santa Cruz.
Do you know what that is?
I don't even know what banana slug means, but
Santa Cruz. You don't know where UC Santa Cruz is?
No, he's not from California. He's from New York. He lived here for 8 years.
I did live here for 8 years.
And you didn't go to school here, but banana slug are the Santa Cruz. So if you think of the epitome of a California, it's the weed smoking. They had they asked me, they invited the parents up to be in the drum circle.
Yeah.
They did. And I don't know why Sonny and the Black Pack are all from this.
San Francisco, right?
They're San Francisco.
Well, I was born in Monterey.
Ah, close.
I'm the only one. These guys are from Bay Area, but I was born and raised in Monterey.
So you landed, you're back here. Yeah. You're back at your old home. I was laughing because I follow you.
Yes.
And I looked at your Instagram post as you landed that you shared. Can I put it up?
Yeah, please.
I'm going to put it up.
That is absolutely true. It's 100% true.
So you can see it on the screen there. Do you see it on the screen there? Yeah. It says, "Welcome to Mexico." What airport did you land at?
We landed at LAX, and my producer Phoenix, who's right outside, he's like, "Dave, I think we might have made the wrong stop here. Welcome to Mexico."
Wow.
Yeah.
To find out, that's how open our border is.
You see, you are a conservative. Look at that. Yeah. Howie, before we go any further with this, can I just reiterate something that I said to you before? Because this is the first time we've met, but I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that of all of the things I've done in my career, and I've done most of the things that I've wanted to and all of that stuff, my parents are more excited about this right now than anything else. They have loved you. I don't know that I can have them being recorded, and maybe you could call them after privately.
Why you didn't want them on this?
You're every 80-year-old's jam.
They're private people. You know, we should let them be. They're older and
so am I.
Doing things. They're
You're making me feel old. They're puttering. The fact that you don't want to interrupt puttering. You know, it's not like they're doing something important.
They might be doing something with their grandchildren.
So you're lying. You're lying. They can't be that. I just offered them a call.
Can't we FaceTime with them privately after? Wouldn't that be nice? Not everything has to be a public show, you know?
What are you scared they'll say?
I don't know. Because they're going to fawn over you. And it's like,
And that's
you can't
embarrassing.
share
That
the
is
limelight for a minute.
I'm the son. I can't, you know?
You don't want to share? Okay,
I don't wanna
fine.
share that.
What are their names?
Carol and Ira.
Carol and Ira. I'm just going to say Carol and Ira. I wanted to call. But he said no.
Yeah. When I was doing stand-up, that's what my dad, why can't you do more like Howie Mandel with the hands?
It's all in the hands.
Do stuff with the hands.
It's all in
Yeah.
the hands.
Yeah.
It is. Howie Mandel here. You all know how important cleanliness is to me, right? Especially when it comes to our food. So let me introduce you to something that is a total game changer. Go Wipes Amazing Food Safe Wipes. Their fruit and veggie wipes use natural bamboo fibers and a food safe, non-toxic, but super effective formula to keep surfaces clean. Go Wipe is offering 10% off store-wide with the code Howie10 at gowipe.co. You are, so you didn't know. You seem to kind of, rather than blaze a trail, you follow this weird path. Like, I don't think that you, are you comfortable? I'm noticing that my tree is jammed into your ear.
No, it's nice having plastic leaves actually tickling me. I thought that was part of the show, that there was just something back here.
Do you want me to move it? Have somebody move it?
Well,
You want to
here,
move the chair? It's just, it's so weird. I'm trying to look at you, but there's just like a tree.
Yeah, I thought that was just like a trick that you do. You know what I mean? It was some way of keeping the guest on their toes. Oh, every
Is
now
that
and
something
again,
you do on the?
yeah, we do things like that. We'll have the seat warm up without the guest knowing. All kinds of odd things.
You have a very serious show, like for the most part.
Very serious.
I think it is. No?
My daily show now, so we're live every day at 11 Eastern, where I just do the new, it's news stuff or cultural stuff for an hour. That to me is funny. Like I try to make the news as funny as possible, but it's a blend of, oh shit, the world is going bananas, everyone's insane, we're on the verge of World War III, blah, 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 the president has dementia. And then I try to couple that with some funny framing. So the days that I'm happy, and it's probably similar for you, the day when I finish the show, if I'm like, the show is funny today, then I'm happy. Like if it's just, oh, I told people about the news.
Are you live?
Am I alive?
Is the show live daily?
Am I alive? Whew.
No, well, I'm sure.
I don't know, Howie, where are we going with this thing? Was there something in the water? Yeah, we're live. We're live for about an hour every day at 11 a.m.
Has anything ever gone, what's been the most, has it been like a moment, like an embarrassing, tough moment when you go live?
No, it's sort of like stand-up. Like when you're up there, you're just doing it and you're in it. And sometimes it's amazing and you're locked in and you're crushing and killing. And sometimes the flow's a little off, or you're just not hitting the punchline perfectly or something. But no, nothing like I can sort of tell with your team here. You have a great team around you, people that you love, obviously, and all that. And I have a very similar vibe in my studio. None of my family is in there. You've got some family here. But if you have the
don't
right
want your
people,
family.
Well, again, they're puttering around doing.
Yes,
I don't know
they
what
don't
they're
have-
doing.
you don't
know
want-
what I mean? My dad's in the basement fixing things. I don't know. And
Aren't you a Jew?
yeah.
So is it your dad fixes things?
Well, I don't know. He organizes the drawers. Or,
He doesn't call somebody?
No, I don't know what. I don't know what they're.
I've
doing.
never fixed anything.
I know that they're retired and they're out and about.
Okay. The reason I was asking you because this is not live.
Yeah.
And I do live television. We do live broadcasts, but I'm always fascinated by people who do live and the things that can happen, or especially, even physically. I put in a tape. I just looked up live broadcasts. Tell me what you think as a fellow broadcaster, what you think of. This is I think it's in Russia. It's a woman running some sort of game show, or I don't know what you do, but you have to pick a letter. Here, run it. She's saying, pick a letter, play it.
Ja, hallå?
Hej, vet du?
Okay.
Niklas?
So
Hej, Niklas, vad har du för svar till mig?
okay, I picked V for vomit. There we go.
What?
I picked V for vomit.
What?
I picked V for vomit.
Was there any context there? Is that morning sickness?
That's not the end of the show. Okay.
Jag säger bara så här. Jag måste bara tala om en sak nu.
All right.
Jag har mens.
And the show's not over. That's my favorite part of this show.
Det är direktsändning, då
And
kan vad som helst
she's got a
hända.
smile.
Och jag säger bara, det där ber jag om ursäkt för. Men jag måste säga att jag har mensvärk.
Okay.
Och då kan...
All right. We got it. Sharing is caring.
Now I feel like maybe I didn't answer your question appropriately. Have I ever had some sort of weird bodily function?
Doesn't have to be a bodily
Doesn't
function.
have to be
Have you
specific.
shit your pants during
I've never shit my pants during the show. I don't want to call anyone out specifically, but
Oh.
I've been in rooms in the interview when someone clearly has farted and you know it because there's only 2 people in the room and you're looking at them and they're explaining some deep political insight.
Red or blue?
You're just like, you farted. You farted.
A red,
well,
red
generally
or blue?
only red people talk to me now, so it's probably someone red, which is more, that probably means they eat more meat because generally conservative, so it's more of a protein-related thing. Yeah.
That's a different side of politics that we don't really get.
Yeah.
So, and you're able to keep your composure like that lady.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there could be a burning of the eyes or a clenching of the nose.
You don't want to name somebody?
No, I don't think I should name the farter. That doesn't seem fair. Again, we could do some of these things
because they say. But then, what is the point of? I love that what we're doing
do
here.
A second show off air. Possibly?
Let's not talk about anything, but plan a great time. We're going to be calling your parents, naming conservative farts.
Yeah,
yes.
It's like the back room. I feel like that's an old Seinfeld joke. It's about the back room. You go to the Gap and they're always looking for something. It's like, oh, maybe we have it in the back room. And it's like, why don't you just have a store called the Back Room and we'll just go to the back room.
The Gap you get special stuff from the back room. The Gap has like a champagne room.
Yeah, if you go to the Gap, does the Gap exist anymore? Even
I think so.
Guess. And you want a medium, and they've only got smalls and larges there. They're always like, oh, we'll check the back room. And it's like, well, why didn't you just move that into the front? Howie Mandel.
Thank you. Howie Mandel here. I learned that after all those years of being on my feet on stage, that socks can play a key role in comfort for your feet. Warrior alpaca socks are like having a spa day for your feet every day. Their socks are made from premium alpaca wool, which is perfect for sensitive feet. It's super soft, durable, and hypoallergenic. You gotta feel the difference Warrior alpaca socks make. Get 20% off any pair you want with the code Howie at warrioralpacasocks.com/Howie. When you came and said hi to me, you fist bumped, and then you go, "You're a germaphobe." You said you're a germaphobe too, or you have a germaphobe story?
No, I have a germaphobe story. I'm not a germaphobe. You want to spit on me? Whatever. I don't
want to spit on you.
I'm not saying I want that. I'm just saying to prove the point. If you wanted to spit on me, it would be fine.
I don't want
to prove that you're not a germaphobe.
No,
I'm going to use your words are good enough.
For the record,
I can call your parents and ask them.
For the record, when I put my hand out, when I put the fist out, I was also waiting. I wasn't going to force you to do anything because I didn't want to touch you inappropriately or whatever. Because
Thank you.
It's a known thing with you, and I was trying.
Right, but you shouldn't be touching anybody inappropriately. It's a general rule.
As a general rule, but
yes.
but you should, but very specifically around germ people. But then I said to you that I have a story about a comic who I'm guessing you were probably friends with, or certainly contemporaries of, Richard Lewis. Who were you friends with, Richard?
I wasn't friends, but I loved him, and I met him, and I worked with him. We were.
What did you do together?
So do you remember when HBO, your parents will remember this, because you're just
the Young Comic special?
Yeah.
Wait, were you on that first one with him?
Me, him, and Jerry Seinfeld and Harry and
Harry
Anderson
from Night Court. Yeah,
yeah,
I've
and
seen
it was the Smothers Brothers.
Yes,
and we shot it at the Roxy. So I've known him for years.
Was that the first HBO Young Comic special? And then then Rodney took over after that, or
yeah, it was before the Rodney thing. It wasn't the first, but it was before the Rodney Dangerfield specials, where he was discovering people like Dice and other people like that. So yes,
that was an unbelievable special.
A lot of us ended up having a little bit of a career.
You guys, basically everybody ended up crushing it. There might have been one guy on there that didn't become something.
There was one more comic. It's a female, and her name was Maureen Murphy. I don't know what happened to Maureen. Look up Maureen Murphy, impressionist. She went out with the guy that was casting the Tonight Show, Jim McCauley. That was his girlfriend. So that's. And then it didn't work out for her. That was she did a bunch of Tonight shows, but then I don't know if she went on. She's Australian. No, not there. She is comedian. She did the Dom DeLuise show after. Huh. She was on the Tonight Show. I can't picture her, but I obviously remember you and Jerry. Jerry was actually, and I've become a huge fan of him even recently. It's been nice that he's been a little more outspoken to things. But the show, obviously, I think is the best sitcom ever. But Richard, really Richard and you, but Richard was so incredible that night in terms of just the way he bounced across the stage. And it was like, wait a minute, are you a comedian or a crazy person that they just threw up there? In any event,
became a huge fan of his for years and years and years, and then particularly through Curb and all that. And one day he followed me on Twitter, which I was like, this is like the greatest thing ever. And we would DM every now and again. And then I think it was around 2017, I invited him on the show when I lived here still in Sherman Oaks. And he came to my house, and, I knew he was a little weird about germs and everything, so I didn't shake his hand at the beginning. And we talked about politics and comedy and all that stuff. And then the show wrapped, and I was walking him to the car after. And knowing he's a germaphobe, but I kind of wanted to shake his hand or hug him or something. And then as he said goodbye to me, he said, Dave, I just want you to know you're a really wonderful interviewer. And he put his hand on my face like this, just put his hand on my face and just tap me. And I was like, that was so nice. Richard Lewis tapped my face, which I don't think he tapped a lot of people's face. It was just a nice moment,
He taps your face.
It's not like having Howie Mandel spit on you, but it was something,
Who does that? That's
It was
just such a
like,
weird.
It was just like you're a nice kid.
I don't think I've done that to my children.
Yeah,
I don't
it was
think.
just, and his hand was sort of, it was thin and kind of brittle, and the way he was, kind of bony fingers, but it was still, there was something.
He tapped your face.
Yeah. So
you were afraid that you were going to be inappropriate by forcing your fist onto my fist.
Yeah, I didn't know if even knuckle touching would be weird for you.
But you don't think it's inappropriate to touch somebody's face?
Inappropriate? I thought it was a nice gesture by someone who is acknowledging that a younger person appreciated their art. Thus, I will touch their face.
I don't think there's any need to touch. I don't. I love the no. I like in some of the cultures. I like the bowing. I would like to bow.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
Like you acknowledge they're there.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah, I got it.
Thanks for coming on.
No, thank
like
you.
that. No.
Yeah.
Dave,
No,
great.
please.
Thank you. Please. They do that. Sometimes the people who bow.
Yeah.
I think you have to have the final bow.
You have to bow further if you are lesser in the hierarchical order, I think.
It's not about the depth of the bow. It's like who
Last
hangs
bow?
up first. It's like who. Well, now with cellular.
I think
phone.
there's a depth of the bow. I think there's a depth.
No,
I think there is.
no.
You have to bow a little more than the other guy.
No, I don't think
so.
you're right. I just don't think you're right.
It's not like there's something called the internet where we could figure this out.
See if there's a depth to a bow, somebody out there. Jackelyn.
What?
I'm going to come out there and touch your face if you don't.
What?
I don't know.
What do you want?
I just wanted to include you in this.
Thank you.
What would happen if at the end of this show we flipped the script and as I was saying goodbye to you, I said, Howie, you're a wonderful entertainer. My family has loved you forever. And I just touched your face.
He wouldn't like it.
And then walked away.
I wouldn't like it if she did that.
I feel like even, especially if you're a germaphobe, you don't go near the face. The whole reason you're avoiding the hands is because the hands will then go near the face.
Right, so I understand that, but what would you actually do? Because you wouldn't want to hit me because you don't want more germs.
No, and I'm not a
You're
violent.
not a
You're
violent.
not a hitter.
So if I touched your face, there's not much you could do.
Well, obviously you're okay with spitting, so he might spit on you.
He might spit on you.
I would probably. I would be afraid that I would be triggered into a mental health lapse, and I would have to up my medication, and I would call somebody and talk to them. I'd call the lovely people at No CD.
Listen, I want you to come to Florida.
Okay.
None of us are on medication. It's warm. It's humid.
a utopia,
There's a
Florida.
moistness to the skin. We're free there. We can say gay, which is,
You used to go to Florida all the time, Dad.
I love Florida, but why?
Yeah.
But it's not this utopia that's any different than
There's
this.
nothing better. We have no homeless people.
You have no homeless.
Not one.
Not one homeless person in Florida. That's
Not one.
bullshit.
I mean, I suppose there is one, but I haven't seen him.
Because you probably live in a nice, beautiful, guarded condo, palatial place.
I assure you it's much nicer than a condo, but nonetheless.
So there are no homeless people in your house,
On
is
your
what you're saying.
compound,
No,
yeah.
on the compound on the island, we don't allow for homeless. But no, it's a flourishing place where business is growing. And
there's a
people are
game
coming.
that people play, and I'm not knocking Florida.
Yeah.
I want people in Florida to listen to me and to watch me and to buy tickets, and I go to Florida all the time. But there is a fun game that's called Florida Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right. You know what that is,
The
right?
headlines, and it's like Florida man,
Right.
wrestled an alligator while smoking meth and took a baby out of a,
Right.
out of
So
his
knowing
stomach.
that, you think there's no mental illness in Florida?
Well, I didn't say no mental illness,
But this is in
no.
response to.
I remember seeing that guy on an overpass eating another man.
I'm sure
he had the bath salts or whatever in Florida. But he probably wasn't homeless. I'm sure he lived in a nice. He was probably the HOA president.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he had his reasons. First off, whatever they were, we don't know we don't have all the details of why he ate that person. But generally,
I
speaking,
love the paradise of California.
Yeah, you do.
I really do.
You do.
I really do. I wouldn't live
do.
any other place.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I know. It's interesting to me.
You didn't know. I just told you.
But I sensed it. You're obvious. You're a Hollywood guy.
I don't know that I'm a Hollywood. I'm not Hollywood.
No.
I don't think I'm a Hollywood in the sense of what people would think is Hollywood.
Right.
I think I'm conservative in the sense of what people would think is Hollywood. I love California.
Yeah.
California affords me a lifestyle that I can't have any other
Yeah.
place.
Well, I will say this. I joke about it a lot, but I lived in LA for 8 years.
Sherman Oaks?
In Sherman Oaks, and then in Encino. I started in West Hollywood. But for the first 6 years, so until COVID started,
Right.
I loved it here.
Right.
The weather is amazing. The celebrity thing is cool when it's the right level of it.
you can go snowboarding
you
in the
can go-
morning, and then you can go surfing in the afternoon.
all of that stuff. The restaurants are cool. The scene is cool. The people are beautiful.
Right.
So all of that is obviously legit.
Right.
For me, when it went bananas was the day that COVID started.
Right.
And the lockdowns were going crazy
Right.
and everything else. To me, everyone that I encountered went completely insane. And that then led to a lot of the stuff that I was already talking about politically, about freedom and getting the government off your back and everything else. And then I fought very hard to try to help this place as much as possible. I campaigned with Larry Elder against Newsom. And then 3 days after the recall, I was audited by the state, which was also the day I put my house for sale.
Well, you became an enemy of the state.
Yeah, I was an enemy of the state.
Right. So they.
Gavin
well,
Newsom's not here, is he? He's not under your desk or
Oh,
anything?
he's a huge fan of this.
Oh, yeah?
podcast. Yes.
He does
Gavin, come on in.
Not.
But, listen, I'm not going to argue with you that there aren't major problems.
Yeah.
And with homelessness and taxes and education, all that aside.
Yeah. I could add a few to the list, but putting aside homelessness and drug use and education.
Well, there is.
yeah.
You're not going to tell me there's no drug problem in
Yeah.
Florida. You're not going to tell me there's
No,
no
but it's-
homelessness in Florida. You're not going to tell me
No,
that
but they're
there are.
significantly worse here. They are significantly worse.
I think that you're living in a bubble. I think that you're living in a bubble. I think
No,
that you can go to parts of Florida that are really dangerous, and there is a possibility of being injured in a violent crime,
Well,
as much as there is here.
I would go with you until that part, right?
No,
it's
I
not
think
as
per
much as
capita.
here.
Well,
Yeah.
look at we're talking about the state being, the population per capita. Look at the facts.
Are they going to pull up the facts?
Do you want the facts?
Did you
so look
prepare
at the
stats,
facts. Well,
Dad?
then you kind of look nervous, so I didn't know.
He's like, someone please do the homework right
Yeah.
now for me
So
that I didn't
listen,
do.
Am I? Do I know what the fuck I'm talking about?
Howie, let's not get lost in numbers here. The point is there's sunshine in both of the places. They're 3,000 miles away from each other. I think we can both live perfectly fine lives.
Here's the problem is that, and listen, I'm a fan of yours. I don't. My biggest problem right now
Yeah.
is people who have big problems.
Yeah.
That's my problem. My problem is What are you laughing at, Jackie? You're supposed to be my co-host.
I know.
You're supposed to
No, I'm just
support me.
listening.
No, that seemed like a
I
supportive
don't have
laugh
to.
me.
I don't have to support you. That's not the job of your co-host.
No, but
and
I'm
your
not
daughter.
arguing with you.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that I have problems with. Listen, nothing is perfect. And people have different ideas and different ways of doing things and different belief systems and different ways of running their life. And I don't like this tribal feeling.
Yeah.
You know, when I play Florida, I love coming to Florida. Florida is probably my favorite Hawaii and Florida are my two favorite vacation spots.
What about Jersey? Have you been to Jersey?
I have. I don't like winter anymore. I come from Canada. I just don't like February anywhere that's below 50.
Yeah.
I'm a wuss. It has to be warmer than 50, and there has to be room service 24 hours. And especially at this point in my life, I don't want to suffer. And
you deserve that. You've worked hard. You've done a bunch of stuff. Why not have room service? You know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I feel that, listen, and this is what your business is, your particular business is to kind of throw kindling onto and create a fire.
Not exactly.
No?
No.
See, I think that some of the things
it's interesting that's your perspective.
Well, here's my point.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I hear you talk about, and I don't want to really get into politics, but the things that I want to hear, I don't disagree sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't think that when something happens that is wrong, like when you talked about living here in California and we had the lockdown, I don't think there'd ever be another lockdown. I think that everybody would admit the lockdown was probably wrong.
Oh, I think they could bring it back so easily it would be ridiculous and people would be begging.
But you don't know that. You're just that's conjecture.
I don't know it, but just as you don't know it, yeah.
But I'm saying I don't think they would do it. I think that they see mistakes, and I don't think those mistakes were made for any ulterior motive other than trying to save our ass without knowing anything.
Oh, so the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So we could say, okay, maybe they had good intentions when they locked us down or when they closed outdoor eating or when literally the LA County Commissioner, that Sheila Kuhl woman, when she voted to close outdoor eating, but then from the meeting, she went to go eat at her favorite outdoor Italian place in Santa Monica.
Right.
Because she knew it wouldn't kick in till midnight.
Right.
Thus knowing it was all. So, yeah. There's always a blend of intentions versus genuinely bad actors or that kind of thing.
Right, but I don't think that I think that she intended on doing on creating a healthy bill but she wanted to grab one more meal. Which is so stupid. Which is stupid.
No,
I'll give you that.
It's evil. It's not stupid. It's profoundly evil. If you are literally
as a parent, you shouldn't be selling evil. You shouldn't do you want your kids to be worried about everything, or I think people
I want them to be worried about evil, and evil does exist.
I want them to be smart, and I want them to investigate, and I want them and see. I'll agree that was wrong. But I won't agree that there was any ulterior motive. Yeah, and I'll agree that she's an idiot and that was a stupid move.
Yeah.
But that's as nefarious as it could be.
Yeah. I would say that's sort of a Pollyannish view of what people in power do when they have power. I think there was sort of like an element of, oh, what can we do? We don't know what the hell any of this is. Oh, we can force people to close their restaurants. We can force them to stay home forever. Mm-hmm. You'll actually love this story. So the day that the lockdowns were happening, our dog, who was 16 years old, she was originally rescued from Katrina, from New Orleans in Katrina. She had just passed away. We had just put her down 16. She lived an incredible, incredible life. We had just put her down like 2 weeks before lockdowns. We didn't want a dog for a while. My first book was coming out. I was about to be on my first book tour. Then lockdowns start. And that day I saw a story how in the LA shelters, they were going to kill all these dogs because they had nowhere to put them because all the volunteers weren't going to be there anymore and they were closing all these shelters. So I literally, as lockdowns were starting and masks and all that, I ran to our local shelter. We did not want a dog. Like we needed a break after, the end of having a dog is always very difficult and all that. And I literally, they would not, I didn't have a mask yet or anything. They would not let me in. I pushed my way into the shelter, opened the door, and basically grabbed the dog. I saw a couple dogs in the back. I grabbed one, and he's our dog, Clyde, right now. Maybe you guys can get a picture of him. I put some stuff on Twitter every now and again.
We'll put up a picture.
And he was about to be put down. They had signed the thing. He was going to be put down at 2 p.m. that day. And now he's living the life in Miami. That was a bit of a non sequitur, I suppose.
So,
I was trying to shift us into something. There's Clyde. There's Clyde.
No, but so I see that. So, but the point of that story is,
I don't remember. It was just a nice way of getting us out of, oh, are these people all good or bad or evil or anything else?
But they were wrong for wanting to keep you out.
Yeah, they were wrong for, yeah, and it was just like a series.
But it wasn't like they were trying to kill dogs.
But, you know, at the end of the day, if what you're doing actually is killing dogs or what you're doing actually is forcing people who want to earn a living or own a restaurant, that was the most shocking thing to me. When I went to a lot of these rallies to open up Cali again or LA, that the people I was meeting, they were not right-wingers, they were not conservatives. It was a lot of Hollywood people. It was a lot of people who just wanted to go back to work or worked in craft services or had little restaurants whose lives were just completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I became very sympathetic and I would say empathetic to that I just wanted people to be able to make decisions for themselves.
Right.
And be able to go out appropriately and just all of the inconsistencies about things. You know, if you're at a restaurant, when you sit, you can take the mask off, but the person standing, the waiter has to, all of that kind of craziness. I was just like, I don't want anything to do with this stuff.
And that never happens any other place in the world. They never make bad decisions.
No, bad decisions are made all over the place. But I think the best thing that you can do, and it's the beauty of America, is that we have the flexibility to be in 50 different states that are kind of laboratories of how to live, and then you can make your choice appropriately. And if you want to be highly taxed and a little more controlled and regulated, but also have great weather and all the beautiful things that you just mentioned about Cali, you can live here. If you want to be, say, have no income tax and have the government a little bit off your back and whatever else, you can be in Florida. There's mixes of those in the middle of the country. And that's a beautiful, what a beautiful thing that is, so that you don't, if you don't like how it's going, you don't have to leave.
You can eat dinner at 4. I like that about
in
Florida.
Almost any state. In almost any state in America.
But it's
but you meant in Florida particularly because of the early bird special.
The early bird.
Del Boca Vista.
Yeah. Bingo. Yeah. You yell that. That's like yelling fire in Florida, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of ambulances in Florida.
You know, I'm down in my South Miami area, and it's alive and thriving. Cubans, we have a lot of Cubans, a lot of music, a lot of cigars.
I love Cuban food.
Cuban food is great. I love Cuban culture. I love Cuban people because they just love this country.
Oh, do you go to Little Havana? Are you at South Beach?
I'm not in South Beach, but I do go to Little Havana.
I love that. They have really good coffee.
They have the cafecito. You can get.
Oh, look at you, the Jew
get a
that's
mojito. You can get a cigarrito. I don't know if that was a word.
You got to. It's not. But you got to watch out for all the ambulances.
I think that you're thinking more Boca area. Boca
really?
is that's generally where the older people are dying. Yeah.
Howie Mandel here. I know what you're thinking. Howie, you're already so full of life. What could possibly add more zing? Well, let me introduce you to Zest. They offer a unique approach to aging that your future self will thank you for. Zest provides at-home blood tests, an app for tracking progress, and personalized longevity supplements based on your body's needs. You can get 15% off store-wide plus free shipping with code Howie15 at zest.science/Howie. Is that what I'm thinking about?
That's what you're thinking. Remember the episode of Seinfeld when Kramer goes to become the condo president at Del Boca Vista, and he's dancing.
Your audience, Dad.
He's dancing with all the
his parents.
He's dancing with all the old women, and one of them has a heart attack because he's too young and he's dancing too fast. And then Jerry's dad is like, don't worry, there's an ambulance already here for Mrs. Klein. She 2 blocks over.
He's thinking of The Villages.
Oh, you're thinking of The Villages.
Yeah. The Villages.
That is a sex dungeon, that place.
I worked there.
Yeah.
I did stand up there.
You did stand up there? I did one show there.
Did you do a show there?
Yeah.
Did you see, they drive around on golf carts.
Yeah, crazy.
And they wear bandanas.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, loofahs.
Loofahs.
It's the different colored loofahs in the
Put
shower.
up the Florida, The Villages, and it's got, explain, you can.
Well, in essence, it's this massive, it's a really great idea and concept of these places that are small villages, in essence, that they have all of your needs taken care of, and they're retirement communities. So, basically people 50 and up. And what it's become largely is like a swingers convention for these people. They are everybody at 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and they're drinking and they're having sex and they're swinging, and they've got the different loofahs that tell you in the shower what this person is into.
In the shower? No, they're on the golf carts.
They're on the golf carts now.
So this is a village of like $1 million homes on a golf cart in a gated community, and they got like stores and Whole Foods and all this there. And these people. There's a concert in the street every night. They have a full theater. I played the theater. You played there too?
I was in like a ballroom kind of thing.
And
I didn't get the Howie Mandel Theater,
Right.
That's understandable.
Right. But then you hang a loofah and it says what, and the color of the loofah. What are you laughing at?
I love that you mansplain with men too. Didn't he just say this? You just said this, right? Didn't you just explain what it is?
Yeah. But I was letting him. I
You
was
just
letting
have
him
to
drive.
mansplain with everyone.
Well,
Okay, go ahead.
Could you tell me what a loofah is?
Yeah.
Would that be possible?
I live for loofahs. You know that. I'm a germaphobe.
No, but loofahs are bad. Loofahs carry bacteria.
Yeah, you got to get rid of your loofahs.
Get rid of the loofah.
I just keep it on the golf cart. Anyway, it's on the golf cart. But specifically, he didn't talk about this, and I wasn't mansplaining.
Okay.
That if like a blue one means anal.
Yeah. I don't know about the color coordination.
That's
Specific.
what
blue
I'm
is
saying.
Anal, blue is anal.
No,
think blue
bring
is
it up. There's a chart that says exactly what each one is for.
Thus, if someone goes by your golf cart and you have a blue loofah, they know you are interested in
Lowest level of full swap. Those who can play well with others. But there's teal also.
What's black?
Black is full swap. Those who say what
But not
the
everybody.
hell, let it all go. Let it
They'll
all
do
go down.
anything.
They're down for anything.
Anything. Spit on me. What do you mean? Ugh? You're the one who brought that up at the beginning.
It wasn't a general commentary on spitting on people. It was
It wasn't a huck to ya.
that girl.
There's no haktua.
Talk about
it's
talent.
Haktua.
That girl.
What?
Haktua.
What are you doing? Woman-splaining?
Yeah.
To your
you
father?
said it wrong. Get it.
You don't explain to your father huck to ya.
It's not,
Yeah,
there's no
that's-
why.
That's just wrong.
Haktuya.
No, haktua.
Haktua?
Yeah, it's a haktua girl.
Doesn't it sound like something
You
Yiddish?
spit on it.
Something your mother would say?
Ew.
Haktua.
My mother has never said that. All right.
You don't think your mother's
Can
ever
we move on,
gone
please?
down on your father?
For God's sake.
When you say puttering, maybe that's what you mean. Is that what you mean? Is that why you don't want to call? They do an early putter session.
All right. Don't I have to do Sage's
What color
show?
is your
What are we
mother's?
doing
Yeah,
here?
you got another show. What color is your mother's loofah?
Howie, please,
Okay,
please.
I'm sorry.
My parents are watching.
Are they?
Well, it's not
Not
live,
anymore.
but they, if this is able to get on the internet.
It's going to be on the internet. This is going to be on the World Wide Web. What do you want people to? I was going to show you the ambulances in. Do you want to see an ambulance?
Yes.
Video.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the ambulance in Florida. I don't know if that's northern Florida. It must be on the. Anyway, watch this. Here comes the ambulance.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
What?
All right.
What? The ambulance is there.
Yeah, no.
How efficient are you to have an ambulance there
Yes, that's proper government use. You see, the ambulance is right there.
before the
I bet-
accident?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
guy was probably homeless, and that's how they take care of it.
Not in Florida.
Yeah.
He was calling an ambulance. She notices. Look, then she runs. Not even a run. Excuse me, Nick. Nick, you.
Wow.
Nick, look under. Look, she's still put down my paperwork. You better go get Steve. And now they're all taken care of.
Wait, I
Wow.
think, isn't this Armenia? Is that what it says?
Oh,
Not even
Armenia.
Thank you. Thank you for co-hosting with me.
Wow, Howie.
I was doing a Florida thing. You're not helping from the other
I'm
room.
sorry.
I was about to say the
I'm
first
observant.
negative thing I've said about Florida in 5 years, and then it turned out.
And you ruined it. We could have had some
I'm
clickbait.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Rubin turns on DeSantis.
Your buddy.
He's a good dude. Not a great candidate. Good dude.
How do you feel about his heels?
There was something odd with the shoe. I will admit there was something odd with the shoe.
I mean, you can't stick up for him with everything. Those heels.
There was something odd with the shoe.
Okay.
The day that story really broke was when he was on Real Time with Bill Maher, and if you remember him sitting there, because the front of the shoes sort of looked like Wizard of Oz kind of. Yeah, you guys have it.
Yeah, we called
And I was there that day. I was backstage with them before that, and I was like, "There's something odd with the shoe." So. That being said, the guy is an incredible governor. So, you have to pick your battles.
But
And
what
I-
kind of
he
shoes
can't
are that?
even choose.
What
Make
kind of
decisions.
shoes is that?
No, those were like cowboy boots that
Was he at a
seemingly-
funeral? Did he come from a funeral?
Not that I know of, but if you see the image that they're showing right there, you see sort of like the angle of what a natural foot would be like.
No, because maybe he went to a funeral. You wear those kind of boots at a funeral. You know that. Traditional.
You'd wear traditional turned up
Cowboy boots.
Turned up cowboy boots.
At a traditional funeral.
You should let him know, though, there's inserts that can make him taller instead of having to wear the heels, and no one would even know.
No, at a funeral.
I will send him this clip.
Okay.
I bet were you with him all day?
No, just for the hour or two.
Do you know for a fact that he wasn't at a funeral? A traditional funeral?
Well, I don't think he was I don't think he went to a traditional cowboy funeral in LA before.
It doesn't have to be a cowboy funeral.
What traditional what?
Let me
Orthodox
play a video
Jewish
of a
wedding?
funeral.
What are you
Show him,
showing me?
Dad.
Do you have the funeral? You're getting it?
We're getting it.
Okay, because I didn't know that Jackie was going to bring up the DeSantis' shoes.
Of what tradition, though, are you telling me this is?
At a traditional
what?
with those shoes.
But a traditional cowboy funeral?
Doesn't have to be a cowboy.
What do you, traditional
Why
Indian
do you
funeral?
have to be so
Watch.
specific?
Watch.
Yeah.
Watch. Traditional funeral. See the coffin is up here in the front. You see that?
But what tradition is this?
I don't know. Look.
So here's a woman.
It's not Jewish.
Okay.
Okay, there's a woman. And then there's a couple over there. I don't know if that's it's a man and a woman right there. There's the coffin. Here we go.
Oh, that's why. That's probably why he was wearing those shoes.
That's probably why.
No,
sorry.
I
Let's
take it
finish the
back.
funeral. What?
Seeing this now, I do remember he was at this sort of event beforehand. I do remember
See?
him mentioning that to me.
Problem solved.
I'll take it back then.
Yeah.
All right. So, Dave, you're a mensch.
No, you're a mensch.
No, you're a mensch.
How are you?
Two Jews walk into a podcast.
Haktua.
Ew, guys.
You're happily married. What are you doing? What are you doing?
No,
That's going viral.
I don't know.
No, I
Wait,
know.
can you say something give me like 2 nice sentences about me that I can clip and send to my parents so that it's outside of the rest of this, which I don't know that they can see.
They can even see it in it. The fact that you're a mensch, the fact that you're a smart guy, this fact that, you know what? You're entitled to
Look
your
at that
opinions.
smile.
You're very successful. You should be very proud.
Oh, that's
you should be
nice.
very
That's
proud of your young man. And he's done very well and continues to do very well. And I wish you nothing but success, joy, and health to you and your family and your husband and even Phoenix.
I like how you were becoming Jackie Mason.
I am
Did you
Jackie
notice that? It was
Mason.
becoming more Jackie Mason.
I'm an old bald Jew.
I used to see him wandering around the Upper West. He would just wander around.
Yeah,
dressed up like Jackie Mason with Jackie Mason hair and everything.
With the orange.
And just looking for people to chat with.
He was
And
like an old Jewish traffic cone.
Yeah. And he would
Cohen.
just wander around and schmuck like me. I'm walking around. Here I am.
He's very funny. I spent time. Do you ever spend time with him?
Yeah, I had coffee with him a couple of times.
Me too.
Yeah.
And the bill would come. I'm not paying for this. This is this. This wasn't worth this.
I swear to God, he said that to me. We were sitting on.
Me too.
We were sitting on right outside Zabar's, like 80th and Broadway, and we had coffee one day. And the bill arrived, and I had no money. I was a broke comic, and not that it cost $3 or something. And he looked at, I'm the star. You're nobody. You pay for me. I don't pay for you.
This is like when I was hanging with him one day in Vegas.
Yeah.
And in Vegas, this guy comes up to him and he goes, "Jackie, you don't remember me, but I went to school with you. He's another old guy. I went to school with you." And he goes, "What do you do now?" And the guy goes, I have a plant in China, and I make all the denim that Gap uses and all the Old Navy and all those jeans, and those are all my jeans. He goes, "You've done very well." He goes, "Yeah, I did very well." He goes, "Jackie, I understand you have a show tonight. Are there any tickets?" And he goes, "You cheap fuck! You're asking me for tickets. You make all the denim in the Gap, and you cheap fuck are gonna ask me for 2 fucking tickets? Fuck you! Fuck you!" And that's Jackie Mason. That's an afternoon with Jackie Mason. But an afternoon with you is a joy also. What do we want to plug? The Rubin Report.
Rubin Report. That's
wherever
it,
you get it. Do you
Wherever
own
it is.
Rumble? Do you own Rumble?
I started something called locals.com, which was a subscription service so that guys like you could be independent and free and just own all of the data as it related to your audience. And then we merged with Rumble. So in essence, we sold to Rumble, yeah.
Are you still on
so There's a conference room at Rumble offices with my name on it, etched in glass. Pretty cool.
Well, that doesn't mean that you own it.
No, I do own. I own part of the company.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Because there's also a name with a plaque on a chair at my temple, and I own nothing.
No, but that means you donated $18 once every year.
Yeah. Hi.
Pretty good.
Yes. And so will the Rubin Report, anything else? No. Book? You said you have a book coming out.
Well, I've had 2 books out.
But you have a new one? Are you plugging?
No. Just happy to be here.
So go to daverubin.com.
You could go to daverubin.com.
Yeah, and I want people to subscribe to this, Howie Mandel Does Stuff. If you subscribe to my podcast,
yes,
and you press the subscribe button on YouTube, it's a scratch and sniff, so your finger smells for days.
Like what?
Well,
like red meat for you, since you're a conservative.
I do like red meat.
Yeah.
See what you did?
Little Australian Wagyu.
Sonny in the Black Pack. Black Media Presents, the great musicians.
Howie, this was a true pleasure.
Thank you.
I do mean that.
Thank you so much. And that's it. Thank you so much. Hit it.
Daddy's car, and driven very far. There in the road, baby, straight ahead. A car was stalled and the engine was dead. I couldn't stop, so I swerved to the right. I'll never forget that sound that night. The screaming tires and busting glass.